Today is a much different day. It's a somber day. It's a tough day. And for me, it's really not a day of politics or promoting a candidacy. I wouldn't be comfortable with that today. But I believe there are some things that must be said. What we saw last night, what we observed on 9/11, what we observed at Fort Hood, what we witnessed at Chattanooga, and what we saw with the murderers who invaded Charlie Hebdo. And last night, it was not just one isolated small group, and not just an attack that we have seen of just a lone wolf. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand that these attacks really represent an attack on Western civilization. They represent the world has to recognize that this is an effort, not just an attack on the theory of Western civilization. This is an attack on our way of life. The way of life of everyone who celebrates the Western ethic. I don't know that this is a time for political criticism or the blame game, but I must say that we as a nation, the United States of America, has not shown leadership. We just have not shown leadership. We've had an unwillingness to lead. One administration official suggested that the United States should lead from behind. If the United States of America were to continue to lead from behind, we will leave the world a much more dangerous place. Today, NATO should invoke Article 5 of our NATO agreement, which basically says that an attack on an ally is an attack on us and an attack on all of the Western world. As Americans, must assert leadership, and we need to stand shoulder to shoulder with France and the French people. This is a moment to bring us together. The President of the United States must travel to Europe, and the President should convene meetings with our allies to work on critical intelligence operations. Ladies and gentlemen, it's only through effective intelligence that we can begin to learn of threats. And there's no doubt in my mind that some of our intelligence cooperation has thwarted attackers that we have not even heard of. But I can also suggest to you that the erosion and the trust that must be put together between us and our friends in the NATO alliance, in no doubt in my mind, has created holes in our ability to work together and protect ourselves. Critical work on intelligence matters is essential, and the President of the United States should be convening our friends and our allies to develop plans for joint military action to destroy ISIS, to destroy ISIS. You know, our thoughts and our prayers go to the people of France, but that's not enough. Action is required. Time is of the essence. Negotiation, ambivalence, or delay are not acceptable. Negotiation, ambivalence, or delay are not acceptable. One more time, I must say, not just to those in this hall, but across this country and across this globe, our way of life. For my precious twin daughters, who will be 16 in January, our precious way of life is at risk. Immediately, we should enforce the no-fly zones in Syria. Our Arab allies and friends must provide sanctuary. Our Arab allies and friends must provide sanctuary for those displaced by war. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that we can win the battle with bullets and weapons, and we must engage it now. But the United States, as the leader of the Western ethic and our way of life, a Western ethic that represents respect for human rights, respect for women. The women in this crowd today are unacceptable to our enemies, and respect for self-determination. We must gather those who understand that at this critical moment in history, we need to come together, not just to win on the battlefield, but we need to win the war of ideas. Destroying one group does not allow us to win the battle of ideas. We must destroy this group today, but then engage the battle of ideas. People across this globe, even those who live in confused lives and trying to determine how to act, need to understand what we believe. We believe in a life. That means we must live a life greater than ourselves. Life is not just about me. Life is about something greater than who we are. We should be a center of justice, a center of healing, each and every one of us, and to know that our lives matter, that what we do makes a difference. And what we know in parts of the Western world and in many parts of the rest of the world, and when people get confused about their purpose, when people get confused about whether their life matters, whether they're poor or whether they're rich, but when they believe that they don't matter on this globe, it is possible for them to turn to destructive ideology, to seek to destroy those who believe that their lives make a difference in this world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's only with the assertion of U.S. leadership that will allow us to preserve a world that values these ideas. The ideas that our lives matter, that we are centers of healing and justice, that we do live lives greater than ourselves in any way that we can. That to spread this notion, this concept, this belief in our actions will allow us to win the battle of ideas and to reject and destroy the real threat to humanity. Today we're in a hall. Yesterday we were in the hall, and it's politics. You know, we need to think about what this is all about for our country. Our philosophy is something that we believe so strongly in: free enterprise, freedom of individuals, government as a last resort, not as a first resort. And the notion that the United States of America and its leadership is indispensable all across this globe. To those young boys and girls being raised all across the globe, that there is hope, that there is a future, that we can have progress and prosperity and peace. You see, a political party is nothing more than a vehicle to bring change. You know, a political party is really nothing more than a vehicle to make a difference. And it's just not about winning an election, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's about what this country's future is going to be. We know the formulas that work, and we need to assert them in an aggressive and in a positive way. So you know, isn't it a wonderful thing that each and every one of you is gathered here over the last couple days? But I want you to think about it not so much from a Republican point of view, but from an American point of view. That we believe that our ideas, that our philosophies will bring about a stronger America. And think about this. It's really in the hands of each one of us and each one of you to realize that you can change the world, the axis on which it spins, and be involved in the process of making sure that our children and our grandchildren will understand that America is the hope of the world and that our system works, and we will stand and we will fight for it on the battlefield and in the battlefield of ideas, and we will win. That is what matters so much to us. You know, normally I'm going to be fighting the clock. I have plenty of time left to speak. I don't think today is the day for long-winded remarks. The message I gave you today comes from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you will reflect on it and realize that the good Lord has given each of us a set of gifts, a set of capabilities, and the working together in our families, in our neighborhoods, through our political action, that we're part of healing our country and healing the world. We matter, and we need to stand up for our children so that they too will understand that they can make a difference in our lives. Yes, we need to rebuild our families, and yes, we need to rebuild our neighborhoods. And by doing all that, we'll rebuild America and help the entire world. So today I would say, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the nation of France. Thank you.